Welcome everybody to GrappleFK_media. Today we're covering Stipe v Cormier 3. But just before we get into the card on the 15th of August, we got a few quick updates. Firstly, we've hit over 1,000 followers on Instagram. So there you go. We're in now, baby.
Big time.
Conor's not fighting this year, according to Dana White, which is not surprising, to be honest.
Is he ever going to fight? Yeah.
Is he ever going to fight? That's the question. Yair Rodriguez is out against his in the fight against Zabit. I think that's quite substantial. The UFC are going back to Yas Island in October for 5 weeks, so I strongly suspect, that Khabib Gaethje will be on Yas Island. And Corey Anderson just signed a multi-fight deal with Bellator.
Did he?
So yeah.
I remember him saying that he wasn't very happy. He wanted his respect that he felt he wasn't getting in the UFC because he's doing really well. He's like he put together quite a few wins.
Yeah, he did. He fucked up Johnny Walker.
He did, yeah. So I guess they're not paying him enough. He's not getting the title shot that he wants. And I guess
fair enough.
Offering quite a lot of money.
Bellator slipped in.
Yeah.
But, okay, well, let's move on to the card. Obviously, the main fight, the headliner is Miocic v Cormier. This is obviously a replay. I'll give you my take on it, and then we'll go straight in for Andrew's. What can we say about Stipe? Probably the best heavyweight in history. Golden Gloves champion, collegiate wrestler, good on the feet, good wrestler, good ground game as well, although he doesn't really show it that much. He's KO'd so many people, so many big names. Werdum, Alistair Overeem, decision win against Ngannou, TKO'd Cormier in the second fight. And then obviously if you move on to Cormier, one of the best wrestlers that the UFC has ever seen. Olympic, I think he came fourth in the Olympics. He lost out on the bronze, but I mean, that's a big thing in itself. I mean, you're competing against the best wrestlers in the world and you come fourth. Very good hands as well, good kicks, well-rounded. Surprisingly, I'm very surprised that he's not the favorite for this, because he did win the first one, and I rewatched the second one recently, and he was fucking Stipe up until the beginning of round 4, basically.
No, he wasn't. I mean, he's fucking DC up. Oh, you mean DC?
No, I said
fucking Steve.
He was fucking Miocic up.
Yeah.
He was up on all scorecards.
Yeah.
He was throwing him around, and then I'm going to stop calling him Stipe, even though Joe Diaz is one of my favorite comedians. Miocic made the adjustment, started going for the body shots. 4 or 5 of those body shots just took it out of Cormier, and then he just TKO'd him out of nowhere. So
I think so you think DC should be the favorite, but the odds 100%. The odds are like really close. I think given that Stipe won the last fight, you kind of have to make him the favorite, really.
Yeah, I guess so.
But I think you mentioned those shots in the 4th round that eventually led to the knockout or the TKO. DC, I think his cardio went. In round 4, his cardio had gone, basically. I think he punched himself out, and those body shots just kind of finished it, basically. So that's one of my concerns. I know I've said to you before that I think DC will win, but I've watched the fights again, and I do have concerns about DC's cardio.
He's getting old. He's over 40 now, isn't he?
Yeah. And typically he hasn't had 5-round fights. That was the longest fight he's had, apart from maybe one other decision, maybe. So he's not a 4-round fighter. He's not a 5-round fighter, and of course Stipe is.
Stipe, he beat Ngannou over 5 rounds.
Yeah. And just in that last fight, Stipe looked fresher. Going to the 4th round, he took some damage, but he was fresher. He was ready to go.
Yeah. Another thing that surprised me about that fight, and I'm not sure why Stipe didn't incorporate this into his game plan. I can only assume it's because he was scared of getting taken down. But he was literally throwing no kicks in the first 2 rounds, Stipe. He's throwing no kicks. He was throwing the odd calf kick here and there. But I think a very good tactic for him would be to really hack at DC's legs.
Yeah.
But he just wasn't doing that for some reason.
He had completely the wrong game plan. They both
he did.
completely the wrong plan. So what Stipe should have done, as you said, go for the kicks. He should have maintained that distance, use his reach advantage, pump the jab, stick and move, and just don't let DC near you, basically. Don't stand in the pocket with a much shorter, more powerful man who's going to hit you with elbows and, you know, short punches. That's a terrible, terrible idea. So he had completely the wrong game plan. So I'm hoping, for his sake, that maybe he's going to reflect on that and learn from it.
Yeah.
Because if he does the same thing, he could easily get knocked out again. He's going to get taken down for sure, because he's not stuffing takedowns at that range when they're fighting in a phone booth. So, yeah.
Apparently there's this contentious issue about the small ring and the big ring. That there are two-sized rings. I'm not sure if you've heard about this. And they're fighting in a smaller ring overall. Sorry, smaller octagon, I should say.
Yeah. And Stipe wants the bigger one, so he's got space to move.
Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, this is a very tough one to call. I said this to you before. I've just got a feeling Stipe is going to win. I've got no basis to justify this.
No.
Just a tingling in my balls. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. But I watched a video of UFC fighter picks, and the only person who thinks Stipe is going to win is Mark Diakese. Everyone else picked DC. So
yeah,
I mean, with the odds, I'll probably bet on DC. But I don't know. I've just got this feeling Stipe is going to do it.
The more I think about it, the more I'm inclined to agree with you, based on basically DC's cardio. And if Stipe comes in with an appropriate game plan, he should win. Yeah, I think. But then again, if DC comes in with wrestling, let's say he doesn't tire himself out, you know, boxing, and he strategically goes for takedowns, get some control time in rounds 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. 4, and he just locks in 3 rounds, then he can win. But I just don't know if he's going to do that. And again, I don't know if Stipe is going to actually have a sensible game plan. There are just so many unknowns here.
Yeah, it's a tough one to call. It's a very, very tough one to call. But I mean, it's probably the fight of the year, bar Usman Masvidal.
Yeah, it's a great fight.
It's a great fight. Well, actually, I'd say the fight of the year hasn't happened yet. Is Adesanya and Living La Vida Costa. That's the fight of the year for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently that's in a small... Oh, we're veering off topic here. We'll leave that for another time. We are. Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, Adesanya wins. Let's move on.
Yeah, well, I don't think that. But let's go to the co-main event. And this is quite interesting because...
Wait. We missed out the predictions for DC.
Yeah, we did.
In our predictions.
Oh, I didn't want to give a prediction. But, okay, I'll go with Stipe. I think Stipe will KO him. TKO or KO.
I'm torn. I'm absolutely torn. There's no way I'm betting on this, but I'm going to go with DC based on him learning from previous mistakes, and he does learn from previous mistakes. He's very honest with himself, and based on the fact he's going to bring his wrestling this time, so DC.
He's bringing his wrestling shoes, as they say. Yep. All right, fair enough. Yeah, I'm not going to bet on this. I wonder what the odds are for it to go to decision.
Not sure.
Should probably check that. But let's move on to the co-main. This is it's an unusual co-main. O'Malley v Vera is the co-main. So it's O'Malley's first co-main event, first time he's doing a 5-rounder. I mean, I guess everybody knows who O'Malley is now. He's the new Wonder Kid, KO artist, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purple belt. I mean, the rumors are coming out that he's very good on the ground, but I've barely seen him on the ground, to be honest. So I can't give a conclusive analysis of that. But you know, he does have KO power. He's 5'11", very good striking. For some reason, and I can't quite put my finger on it, we discussed this before in another podcast, people find him interesting. I think he's incredibly boring.
Same.
But
Yeah.
he's got 1.1 million Instagram followers for some reason. I just can't put my finger on it.
Yeah,
I don't get that either. Yeah, I just don't get it.
He's boring. He looks like an idiot. He's got terrible tattoos. He's
yeah.
Kind of a dick.
His hair. Yeah.
Thinks he's too cool for school.
Yeah. Thinks he's Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. But I don't think this is going to be as simple for him as people think it will be, because Vera's not a ranked opponent or anything, and I think this is quite an intelligent move for him on his part and on the UFC's part, in that they've obviously identified someone who's very, very popular, and they don't want to throw him to the sharks straight away. So they're giving him Vera. The problem with Vera is he's actually very, very good on the ground. He's submitted 3 people in the UFC. He's submitted 5 people outside of the UFC. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Now the question is, can he take O'Malley down? And if he does take him down, can he submit him? Purple belt v black belt, we've seen in other fights. It doesn't really matter. It depends on the whole MMA grappling skill set. But again, I haven't seen enough of O'Malley to say. I mean, just to be clear, I think O'Malley will probably win this. I don't think Vera's good enough to keep his striking at bay, because his striking is very good and his reach is really long. I think his reach is unusually long. O'Malley's, the way he extends his arm, his legs are very long too. But I don't think this is going to be as simple for him as people think it is going to be, in my opinion. But I still think he'll win.
Yeah. Vera is good. Like, he's 9-5 in the UFC, but he's won the last 5 of his fights. Or he's won like 5 out of the last 6 fights, which is very good. He's got momentum. He is good. Like, he's a very good striker. But like Kevin Lee, I see holes in his game. So he's very good coming. I say this a lot about fighters, and this is like a fundamental flaw that pops up time and time again. Really good going forward. Really great kicks. Good boxing, and when he's in his groove and he's backing people up, he looks spectacular. But as soon as anyone hits him back and he's on the back foot, he kind of crumbles. And I see that with Vera. And we know that Sean O'Malley is going to be very aggressive. He's going to come forward. He's going to hit hard. Yeah. And I think like their skill sets are actually really similar. They fight in very similar ways. I don't really know much about Vera's ground game. I've seen him basically grab someone by the neck, pull them down into a head and arm choke, and submit them, which is really I don't know how I haven't really seen much of him on the ground itself. But broadly, sort of, let's say jiu-jitsu aside, skill sets, they're kind of similar. I think they're both long, they're both kickboxers primarily, but the difference is I think Vera is basically a slightly worse version of Sean O'Malley. And
smaller as well. He's 3 inches shorter. Yeah.
Doesn't hit quite as hard. Basically does all the same things, but O'Malley just does them a bit better.
Yeah.
Which makes it, in my opinion, this makes this a really, really great matchup for Sean O'Malley.
Yeah. The only thing I'm worried about for him is the submission game, because Sean O'Malley, I don't think he has any submissions on his record, as far as I know. I think Vera has 7 or 8 submission wins.
This is worth exploring. Let's look this up.
Yeah. Let's do this.
Because this could be the differentiator here.
I think, he's got 3 subs in the UFC off the top of my head. The problem with that is, how did he get those subs? Did his opponents rush into the sub, or did he actually get the person down? So if he has the entries and he can get O'Malley down, and O'Malley's not great on the ground. I mean, the rumors are coming out of his camp saying he's very good in the ground, but they're obviously going to say that. Yeah.
I've never seen Marlon Vera go for a takedown. Maybe that's because I haven't seen enough footage of him. But I haven't seen him actually shoot for a single leg or a double leg.
He's got a good submission game. Not sure about the entries.
Yeah.
So
he's got a rear naked choke against Noelin Hernandez in 2019. That was a rear naked choke. Hernandez is Mexican and he's a striker, and Mexicans don't really know jiu-jitsu or wrestling, so I don't think we can give too much credence to that. Before that, he got a rear naked choke against Guido Canetti, who's Italian. Italians don't tend to have much of a wrestling game or a jiu-jitsu game from what I've seen. I'm saying he's Italian. He could actually be American, but Italian name.
Yeah.
He's got an armbar against Brian Kelleher. That's probably more impressive. And a triangle armbar against Roman Salazar, who's another Latino guy, I assume. So I don't think these are the best submissions, to be honest.
The problem there is, how good is O'Malley on the ground if he does end up on the ground? Because I've just never seen any footage of him on the ground. I can't remember anything of him on the ground. He just knocks people out.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a question mark.
Yeah. I still think O'Malley would win. I don't think Vera's at the level. And I'm happy that the UFC have done it this way. It's good that they haven't thrown him in with a ranked guy, even though he's been talking a lot of shit, saying Peter Yan this and Aljamain Sterling or whatever. You know, I'll KO him and I'll KO him. Cejudo, come back and I'll KO you. All of this crap. I mean, that's Instagram build up, a lot of it, in my opinion. I also think he's a bit of a dick, as you said. I don't particularly like him. But they haven't thrown him in with a ranked guy. To be honest, I think he'll get smashed by the ranked guys, particularly the top 5 or 10. I don't think he's ready for them. Because
so no, I mean, he's looked spectacular.
Yeah, but it's easy to look spectacular against top 40, top 50 guys who don't know wrestling or jiu-jitsu. That's the thing, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, and how many times has this happened where someone's been rushed, fought a ranked guy and been KO'd? So I'm still going with the O'Malley win, but I don't think it'll be as easy as people are saying it'll be. In that, you know, I don't think it's just going to be him going in, one punch KO and then walks off and does a stupid interview afterwards.
I think this will be easy, as
you think
people
so?
say it is. I think most people don't understand, you know, the dynamics of this matchup, but I think this will be an easy fight for O'Malley, just because of the way they match up. Because O'Malley does everything Vera does, but better. He hits harder, he's faster, more dynamic, bigger, longer. You know. So
I mean, we're both going for O'Malley wins. Yeah. Okay. Have you spotted something else, or should we move on to the next fight?
No, I'm just going to predict O'Malley KO or TKO round 2.
Round 2. Yeah, I think O'Malley a TKO or KO. I'm not really sure which round. I'd say 2 or 3. Yeah, 2 probably. I think he hits too hard. I think if he gets a combo of punches in, I don't think the guy can get to round 3, to be honest. Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next fight. JDS v Rozenstruik. This is a very interesting one. Very, very interesting.
It is. This is a tricky one.
Both big boys, obviously. It's a very tricky one. The common opponent between them is obviously Ngannou. And he fucked both of them up really badly.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to learn from that fight because they both got ruined in the first minute. You just got to leave
that guy on the side.
Yeah, like we learned nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. JDS, former champion. He's beaten 5 former champions. BJJ black belt. Although I don't think he has any submissions on his record. He's more of a KO artist, but he is a BJJ black belt.
I remember some controversy about him getting his BJJ black belt. This was relatively recently, like a year or two ago.
Oh, really?
Some people were criticizing that decision to give him the black belt, saying that, you know, jiu-jitsu schools will just give their famous UFC fighters black belts just for the credibility, just for the publicity. So is he really a black belt? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think he's only got 1 or 2 subs on his record. I don't think he has a sub in the UFC, if I remember correctly, which is very, very unusual for a BJJ black belt.
Yes. Yeah. And he's had so many fights.
Exactly. And he's been around for a while. He's a former champion. Yeah, having said that, he's got incredible power and he's got good boxing.
He does. He's also post-Usada. You know? do you remember when he came back recently, like maybe a couple of years ago? Because he was banned because he got caught doing the steroids. So
was he on the old roids?
Mexican meat. Yeah, he's on the Mexican meat.
The Mexican meat. As Nate Diaz once said, everyone's on roids.
Maybe I don't know how true that is, but certainly
I think a
few years for sure.
Yeah, I think 5 to 10 years ago, a lot of people were on roids and they were getting around the tests. Yeah,
I'd say most people. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people were on roids, except Bisping. Credit to him. Yep. But yeah, I mean, we know who JDS is. He's got a good all-round game. He's coming off two vicious KO losses, but against very, very high-level guys. Ngannou, Curtis Blades. Moving on to Rozenstruik. Incredible kickboxing pedigree. From Suriname, which is as some people probably know, is a former Dutch colony. So they've got that Dutch style kickboxing, which is arguably the best type of kickboxing in the world, Dutch style. So yeah, he's very good. He's got like 70 KOs out of 86 kickboxing fights. He's KO'd 4 people in the UFC, including Alistair Overeem, and I believe he KO'd Orlovsky as well, but everyone's KO'd Orlovsky over the last few years.
Yeah.
But is he a good overall MMA fighter in comparison to JDS?
No.
Probably not. Probably not. And the way Ngannou knocked him out, he did not show any head movement. His head was very, very... And that's easy to say. When someone like Ngannou's swinging at you, you're probably going to shit your pants. But I mean, his head was very, very still. He wasn't bobbing. He wasn't bobbing around or anything like that, which is something that JDS does. He does at least move his head. Yeah. He got caught by Ngannou too. I think he got knocked out within 2 minutes or something.
Well, JDS did something really stupid. Like he started off really well with some nice leg kicks. Then he swings massively, or rather this way. He misses, over rotates, ends up here, parallel sideways to Ngannou, and then Ngannou just whacks him on the side of the head, and that's it.
Magumbu went for him.
Magumbu'd him, yeah. But JDS fucked up there. I think JDS could have actually won that fight if he was more intelligent.
If I remember correctly, one of his kicks actually threw Ngannou off balance. That's how hard he kicked him.
Yeah, or he wobbled him,
Yeah. He wobbled him with one of his kicks. His kicks are lethal.
Yeah, he's got really nice kicks, yeah.
But then again, so does Rozenstruik. He's a kickboxer. But it's a tough one. I think JDS will probably win, but it's always difficult betting on heavyweight fights. Unless you're betting on Ngannou to beat someone, but the odds aren't going to be great. So it's very difficult betting on these heavyweight fights. Anything could happen.
Yeah, there's an interesting reference point. Derrick Lewis is a good reference point. JDS beat Derrick Lewis, and what I liked about that fight is JDS was very respectful of the power. He tried to maintain distance. He's very cautious. So, he throws some shots and then he gets the fuck out of there, which I like to see against a big, powerful guy. He did get caught by Derrick Lewis, but he took the shot and he was okay. That was a fight. I showed you this recently. JDS did the spinning back kick to Derrick Lewis's stomach. Nearly killed him, it seemed, with that. And
that was a beautiful kick.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
And then that led to some, more headshots, and he managed to finish it. So if he fights Rozenstruik the way he fights Derrick Lewis, maintains that distance, not be rash, not do anything stupid, I think he can win.
Yeah.
And I've got to say something. Of course, JDS has also got the potential takedowns there. If Rozenstruik gets to the ground, he's not able to do anything. He's just like a wet fish.
Yeah.
He can't do it. He's helpless. So that opens it up for ground and pound, submissions, the whole 9 yards. But I've got to say something about Rozenstruik. I like Rozenstruik, but the problem Rozenstruik is he's a counter striker. He basically relies on people coming in and countering. Now, counter striking is really good. It's great. But why do people counter strike?
What is that a question for me?
Yeah, question for you. Why do people counter strike?
Well, I guess one of the reasons is they're probably not naturally as aggressive as the other person, or to exploit someone's holes and coming forward.
Yes, and also because they're not quick enough to be first. So if Rozenstruik had faster reflexes, he's more explosive, faster, he'd be going first. As strikers, we all want to land first because that's how you win fights. Champion fighters are not counter strikers. You have to be first. Because if you're not first, you're not landing enough strikes. You have to be proactive. You can't just wait for someone to come in and get them with that perfect, check left hook or the counter right as you're stepping back. You can do that against less experienced fighters, the unranked fighters, but you can't do that against, the elite. So that's a problem I have with Rozenstruik. If he's just waiting, I don't see him winning this fight.
Yeah, because JDS has very, very hot, he's got KO power as well. He's got 15 KOs out of 21 fights.
Yes.
So he could easily KO him. The thing with a counter striking point is it's very common in boxing. A lot of boxers are counter strikers, but the difference there is they wear 16-ounce gloves. Counter striking when you're wearing 4 6-ounce gloves, as you said, is probably not a good idea. Because if that person rushing forward lands 1 or 2 on you, like Ngannou went for a 10-shot combo, he only landed 1 and he was out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not a good idea.
And also in boxing, if like a counter striker in boxing, they just do it better.
They do it better, yeah.
They're not just doing this as they're going backwards, that's what I do in boxing sparring, because it's the only thing I know how to do against a quicker fighter. A talented boxer who's a counter striker won't just be doing that. They'll be throwing combinations. They'll be ducking and they'll be cutting angles and landing a whole lot more than just that counter left hook.
Oh, mate, why don't you just do the Mayweather shoulder roll, bro? Just give him the old shoulder roll, man. Just go like that.
Yeah, if
easier said than done.
Good, I'd do it.
Actually, don't do that. Don't try that.
Yeah, so that's the problem I have with Rozenstruik. And also, there's something so interesting about this. In his fight against Overeem just stopped striking. Like in the first round, he just stopped striking. It was really awkward. And so nobody was striking. So Rozenstruik was actually first. He's actually coming forward and landing things. But you could tell that he didn't know what to do. Like he even rocked Overeem a couple of times, but he just didn't finish him. It was as if he didn't know what to do. He just hadn't done that before. It's just strange to me.
They've both got the same base as well, Dutch kickboxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Overeem just kind of did this and just, I don't know what he was waiting for. He wasn't firing back at all.
Yeah. So who have you got then?
I'm going to say JDS by decision.
Decision? You think it's 3 rounds, isn't it? It's 3 rounds.
I mean, I'm in between decision and TKO or KO.
Yeah.
Let me see how many decisions JDS has. I just think JDS has got, the much broader skill set. He's got multiple ways to win.
Yeah, he's a former champion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Rozenstruik has got one way to win, which is a counterpunch. That's it.
Yeah. Off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure JDS has only won once by sub, so I'm assuming the other 5 fights were decisions.
He's got decisions against Roy Nelson, Shay Carwin, Stipe. Yeah, he beat Stipe back in 2014, yeah.
Yeah, he beat Stipe, yeah.
Another decision against Ben Rothwell. Another against Blagor Ivanov. And the rest are KOs, TKOs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say decision for JDS.
Yeah. I think JDS will win. I'm not sure how, but I think he'll win. I think, as you said, he's got the broader skill set. It's 3 rounds. I think decision probably. I think a decision. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, let's move on to the next one. What is the next one?
Cutelaba versus Ankalaev.
Oh, yeah. This is a controversial one, isn't it? Ankalaev and Cutelaba, both very similar backgrounds. Greco-Roman wrestling plus combat sambo. Both good strikers.
Well, Cutelaba has combat sambo and Greco.
Yeah, it was a European combat sambo champion.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he also did Greco-Roman wrestling. And I think he really, I think you got to see that when he fought Khalil Roundtree. Took him down 3 times in the first round quite easily, and then just elbowed the fuck out of him. They're both pretty good strikers as well, in my opinion. Cutelaba's a fucking madman. He's crazy. Very terrifying human being. But I just think that I mean, the first fight obviously was stopped too early. Let's put that out there.
I disagree.
First. You think so?
I disagree.
He's still on his feet, though. He's still on his feet.
But he looked out of it. I mean, he was caught with a right hand in the clinch or something.
He wasn't on the ground, though.
But he was out of it. Like, he was literally doing this.
I honestly don't think he was, because right after he stopped it, he jumped in the air and he started complaining. I think he got rocked, but I don't think he was out of it. I think he's a madman. The guy's crazy. Like, he paints himself green and comes into weigh-ins and stuff. I think he was playing possum a bit. Stupidly. He shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I mean, you're a retard if you're doing
Yeah, he's a retard. He's not fully wired. I shouldn't say retard, but he's not fully wired up there. Like, even against Roundtree, like, when they announced the fight, he walked right over to him. Against Ankalaev, he walked right over to him, tried to grab him, and then Ankalaev threw him away. This is before the fight started. So he's not fully there. But I think Ankalaev has got the better striking.
Cutelaba looks amazing for the first round. He's got immense power, extremely explosive, but it comes at the cost of endurance. And the fights I've seen, he diminishes rapidly after the first round. Like, he can knock you out, he can knock you down in the first round, but after that, if it goes longer than 1 round, he tends to lose.
Yeah.
So it's like all or nothing.
Ankalaev's gone to 3 rounds a few times, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, also Ankalaev's 2 inches taller than him, which could be a factor. Not much of a factor, 6'1", 6'3", but I just think Ankalaev's got the cleaner striking. And in terms of, he's only got 1 loss to Paul Craig, the Russian killer.
Did you see that fight?
No, he probably triangled him, though, I'm assuming.
He triangled. So Ankalaev was dominating him for like 99% of the fight.
Yeah.
Fair to Paul Craig got 2 takedowns. But after some time, Ankalaev managed to reverse them. I was surprised that Ankalaev got taken down. but he did reverse them and then end up on top. Anyway, it gets down to like 4 minutes and literally 4 minutes and 50 seconds, or even 4 minutes and 55 seconds in the third round. Ankalaev is smashing him ground and pound. Then magically, Paul Craig pulls out of this triangle.
It's incredible at BJJ, that guy.
Yeah. And Ankalaev taps very quickly. I think he could have held on, but he just tapped.
Unusual for a Russian.
Yeah.
Tap quickly.
Yeah, you wouldn't have tapped. You know.
Nah, I would have passed out and shit myself.
Yeah.
I go to the gym with a spare set of boxes, mate. I'm not tapping out to no one. You know what? I don't know. This is slightly off topic, but we'll come back to the fight. How the fuck is Craig still a brown belt? It's absolutely absurd. Can someone give that guy a black belt, please?
Yeah, I don't understand. If you're submitting guys in the UFC,
yeah,
against Greco-Roman champions,
Sambo combat Sambo, fucking Russian combat Sambo champions. Yeah.
It's
who've
weird.
Done freestyle wrestling or Greco-Roman wrestling since the age of 5 or some shit. But anyway, yeah, I think Ankalaev will probably win. I think Ankalaev's got the cleaner striking, and I think their combat Sambo wrestling background it'll cancel each other out. I don't think they'll go for many takedowns.
Yeah, I think the differentiator is the cardio. I think Ankalaev can go 3 rounds, and I think Cutelaba in the second and third round is vulnerable. Vulnerable to strikes, vulnerable to takedowns, vulnerable to anything, basically. Ankalaev's getting nice kicks as well.
He's got good striking. Yeah.
Yes. The thing is with Ankalaev, he doesn't look amazing at anything, but he looks pretty good at everything.
At everything, yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm going to go Ankalaev. Probably TKO. TKO round 3.
TKO round 3. Yeah, I think TKO or KO in. I'm going to go with round 2.
Okay.
I think you could get him out of there earlier.
Cool.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's a head kick. He was not reacting well to those head kicks. Cutelaba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah, we've been talking about this. Of course, yeah, Cutelaba's already lost to Ankalaev.
Yeah, exactly.
Quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. With head kicks. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. And okay. So we've got Ankalaev for that. Let's move on to the final fight of the main card, which I believe is Dodson v. Merab Dvalishvili of Georgia.
I've got to say, Merab Dvalishvili. How do you say it?
Derivashvili or something like that.
Dvalishvili.
Dvalishvili.
He's got to be like the toughest bastard in the UFC right now.
He looks fucking mental.
Yeah. Did you see the fight where against Ricky Simon?
Oh yeah, he was just relentless. Relentless. Yeah.
Insane. And at the very end, like literally again at the very end, like the Paul Craig fight, Ricky Simon is on bottom, and he gets him in some kind of, I can't remember what kind of choke it was, but he holds it for like a really long time. And Merab basically turns purple. And he's like purple for like 30 seconds. He's kicking his legs frantically. He's doing everything he can to get out. The referee's like picking up his arm to see if he's unconscious. This goes on like a really long time. Then the buzzer sounds, and it looks like he's made it. Merab's made it. He's survived, and he's won the fight. But somehow it was recorded as a submission win for Ricky Simon, even though he basically, Merab won the fight. Yeah. But there's no way he was ever tapping to that.
Oh yeah, he's a hard bastard.
Yeah. Like he turned purple.
Yeah, he's from the Caucasus. Those people
tough people.
Yeah, they only know one thing, mate. Just which is why I'm so surprised that Ankalaev tapped quickly to Craig. Craig must have phenomenal A phenomenal triangle hold, by the way. But I mean, Dodson's a very good fighter. He's never been TKO'd, never been subbed. He's been beaten, but he's been beaten by elite fighters.
Yep.
And he's also beaten a lot of people too in the UFC. He's very, very, very experienced. However, I think Merab will beat him over the 3 rounds. I just think the pace he puts on people, his wrestling background, his sambo background, the amount of energy he has, I don't see Dodson doing well against that. And if you think back to the Piotr Yan fight, Yan dominated Dodson with striking. He didn't really incorporate much sambo or much wrestling into it. He just came forward and outstruck him mainly.
Dodson did take Peter Yan down.
Well, there you go. He took him down then. So Peter Yan wasn't even trying to go for the ground game. Peter Yan's a phenomenal striker. Merab's nowhere near him in striking. But I think Merab's levels above Dodson in terms of wrestling. And I think if he gets a hold of him and starts throwing him around a bit, he's going to tire him out very, very quickly. And that guy just does not get tired.
He doesn't. I mean, the pace is insane.
It's insane. Yes. It's like Khabib.
Yeah.
It's like a Khabib pace. He just keeps coming at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen any kind of pace like that in the UFC.
Yeah.
The John Dodson is really good. Like he's got really
very good fighter.
Yeah, really good footwork. He darts in and out. He cuts angles. Beautiful footwork. Good striking. Puts together really nice combinations. He's got wrestling as well. He's a really good fighter. And for someone so small, he's actually got power. Like he has.
Very explosive.
No, so I don't know if he took down Peter Yan. I think he dropped him. He dropped him with a punch.
He did drop him with a punch.
Yeah.
I think it was round 2 he dropped him with a punch, and Yan got straight back up like RoboCop.
Yeah.
Just started going at him again.
So Dodson's got power.
Yeah, he's got loads of KOs. Loads of TKOs and KOs.
He's also really small though. He's 5'3", which for bantamweight is tiny.
Yeah, that's shorter than Cejudo, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in bantamweight, you've got Sean O'Malley, who's 5'10", 5'11".
5'11".
Yeah, 5'11". That's ridiculous. So 5'3" at bantamweight is not doing you any favors. He is fast, which kind of can make up for it. I don't know. I'd be interested to see the speed.
Fast.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see the speed difference between Merab and Dodson. Because if Dodson can land first, you never know what's going to happen. But overall, I think the intensity, the pace, just the constant takedowns, just picking them up and throwing them down from Merab is going to be a hell of a lot to deal with.
Yeah, same here.
So for that reason, I've got to go with Merab Dvalishvili. Yeah,
I'm going to go with Merab as well. I mean, Dodson's definitely the cleaner striker and a lot quicker on the feet. A lot quicker than Merab. Merab's got decent striking, but nothing to write home about. But I mean, the overall energy he has, the way he mixes it in, the wrestling, the sambo, I just think it's going to be too much. I think after 2 rounds of that, Dodson's just going to be like, get me out of here. I can't deal with this.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Dodson's also, 36? Which is old for someone at bantamweight.
Looks like he's 15. I mean, his hairline doesn't suggest that, but he looks very young apart from his hairline.
Yeah, he's had quite a lot of fights.
Yeah, he's very experienced, Dodson. Yeah. So, we're both going for Merab.
Yeah, for me.
Unanimous decision?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, same here. And I probably will bet on that.
Me too.
Yeah, I probably will bet on that. I'm quite confident about that. The final fight we're covering is one of the fights in the prelims. So we've moved off the main card now. It's Miller v. Pichel, if that's how you pronounce it. Is it Pichel or Pichel?
Pichel, I guess.
Pichel.
Sure.
Sounds French, or maybe wrong. But Miller's been in the UFC for a minute. For a minute is slang for a long time now, Schooler, just to just to update you.
I did know that, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you did know that?
I did, yeah. I did.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think
So
I'm
he's
not
got.
cool? I don't know the yeah. Just because I live in Welling. Yeah.
Sound posh. You are posh. Probably went to boarding school. No, you didn't go to boarding school, did you? Did you go to boarding
I didn't.
school? Oh, you didn't. No.
Well, kind of. Let's just move on, Walid.
Just public, which means private in the US. If anyone in America is watching, public in the UK means private in the US. They get confused by that. Yeah. But Miller, yeah, most wins at lightweight. Very good BJJ, NCAA Division I wrestler. He's been around for a long time. He's had a few wins recently as well, which is a good sign for someone who's been around for so long.
Yeah, he's beaten Roosevelt Roberts, who's I guess an up and coming guy.
Yeah. He's submitted a lot of people. I think he's got over 15 submission wins.
Wow. Okay.
Mm.
I mean, I'm looking at his record now, Walid. Yeah, he's got a lot of wins. He's also got a lot of losses.
Yeah, he's been around for a long time.
Yeah, he's 32 and 14, so he's had 46 professional fights.
That's a lot.
And I kind of look at this guy and I think, this guy is just like a grizzled old veteran with CTE at this point.
But the thing is, a guy like that who fights someone who's non-ranked and who's got half the experience. Hello?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's just my camera. I'll get it back.
Oh, no problem. No, I was just going to say that a guy like that who's got so much experience, who's fighting someone who's got less than half his experience, who hasn't fought anyone particularly good, who isn't as good as him at wrestling or BJJ. What do you think about that? Do you think he's got a better chance of beating someone like that, given that he is coming off a win? And given that they're interestingly, I think they're around the same age as well.
Yeah, Pichel is actually older. Pichel is 37, and he's only 12 and 2. So he's a novice at a pretty advanced age, which is
strange. And that's the thing, right? If they're around the same age, obviously Miller's taking a hell of a lot more beating, but he's also got a hell of a lot more experience. In MMA, okay, yeah, he's a journeyman, but the concept of journeyman is tainted in MMA. It doesn't really mean the same thing as boxing in that in MMA, you have to fight who you get, basically. You can't avoid people. So if you come across someone really good, you're going to lose. And whatever his record is, he may have 15 losses or whatever, but that's also 15 sets of experience, if you get what I mean. And he's coming up against someone who's a lot less experienced than him, who's got to be less ground game.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair to Jim Miller, the people he's lost to are typically pretty good. Charles Oliveira, Dan Hooker, Trinaldo, Anthony Pettis, Dustin Poirier, Diego Sanchez, Michael Chiesa, Beneil Dariush, Donald Cerrone. So, yeah, and he's got some decent wins. But he doesn't have decent wins recently. That's the thing. So he beat Roosevelt Roberts this year. He beat Clay Guida last year. I think Clay Guida is washed up. Jason Gonzalez, don't know who that is. Alex White, he's a newcomer. And before that is just losses.
What about Pichel?
Pichel, again, fought Roosevelt Roberts in his last fight, beat him. Before that, he lost to Gregor Gillespie in 2018.
Submission, right?
Yeah, triangle choke. Before that, he beat Joaquim Silva, Damian Brown, Anthony Njokuani, Garrett Whiteley. All in the UFC. I haven't heard of any of those guys, apart from maybe Joaquim Silva. So, yeah, he's got wins. He's got 5 wins in the UFC. 5 out of 6.
It's not bad. Gregor Gillespie's got a similar background to Miller. NCAA Division 1 champion, so on and so forth.
Yeah, Gregor Gillespie's too small for lightweight, in my opinion.
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah, he's... Yeah,
it's a tough one to call. I mean, I'm not going to bet on this, but if I were to pick anyone, I'd probably pick Miller, just because I think he's a lot more experienced. He's better on the ground, better wrestler. And this guy has been submitted before in the UFC.
Yeah, okay. Let's go with...
That's what I think.
Let's go with
I mean, I wouldn't bet on it.
I'm not betting on this either.
Yeah.
So yeah, Miller decision.
I'll go with Miller's submission. Fuck it, let's make it interesting.
Sick.
Yeah.
The mish. Miller by the mish.
The mish. Is that what you BJJ guys say?
Yeah.
Is that what the cool BJJ guys say?
Yep. The mish.
The mish.
They don't say
Fair
that at all.
No? Okay.
No.
Well, that wraps everything up for the fights we're covering. Anything else you want to say?
Not really. But what else have we got coming up? Anything exciting?
What have we got coming up? Well, Zabit and Yair, or however you say his name, Rodriguez, is cancelled. So it'll be interesting. Yair, sorry. Yair.
Yair. Yep.
I'll just call him Rodriguez. Yair. So it's interesting, you know, who's he going to get? Because, you know, I think you and I had a conversation about this the other day, and I said maybe it'll be a Qatar rematch at, you know, for 5 rounds. But then you said Zabit's number 3, which I didn't realize. I thought he was outside of the top 5. So who's next for him? I mean, he's called out Volkanovski and Holloway.
Yeah, so the only people above him are obviously Volkanovski, then Holloway, then Ortega.
Ortega hasn't fought for a while.
Yeah, but then, as you said, Ortega was kind of matched up, or meant to be matched up with Korean Zombie.
Yeah.
That fight has been in the works for a long time. So if Zabit is smart, and Zabit's manager is Abdul Ali Aziz.
Yeah, who manages everyone.
Yeah, he manages to get like really good fights that progress a fighter's career.
Yeah.
I can't see him getting a fight for Zabit beneath him. And if Korean Zombie and Ortega are fighting each other, well, that only leaves Holloway and the champion Alexander Volkanovski. Given that Volkanovski has already beaten Max Holloway twice, that's not going to happen again for a third time, I don't think. That only leaves Zabit for the next championship fight, I think, because Ortega's not getting it.
Yeah.
Korean Zombie probably hasn't done enough to get
a very exciting fighter, but yeah, probably hasn't done enough to earn a title shot yet. Yeah. But the thing is, when the date, if I remember correctly, it was meant to be August the 29th or August the 30th. Who's going to step in? Or do you think they'll rearrange the date? They'll probably rearrange the date, right?
I don't know who else could step in.
That's
as you say, Calvin Kattar might for the rematch.
But is that a good move for him?
I wouldn't have thought so. But then fighting Yair Rodriguez wasn't a good move because he's ranked number 6. Number 3 ranked fighting number 6 isn't a good idea when he could just potentially wait for the title shot.
Maybe they saw something in Rodriguez that they just thought they were confident in the win.
Rodriguez could be champ. He's very, very good.
He is very good. That's a stacked division as well. I also think Zabit could be champ.
He could. I think there are like 4 or 5 guys on any given day could be champ. Zabit, Yair, Max again, Volkanovski obviously.
Yeah.
And even Calvin Kattar on his day with the right opponent, I think could win as well.
I think if Zabit addresses the cardio issue and he can go 5 rounds, the problem with his style, he exerts so much energy. But if he can get that down somehow and he can go 5 rounds, I'm not sure who can really beat him.
He'd have to
apart
change
from
his style.
Holloway. Yeah,
He'd have
apart
to
from
change his
Holloway.
style. Yeah.
Yeah.
He has to stop doing the fancy kicks. He has to chill out a
Exactly.
bit, and he'd be a different fighter. We don't know what he'd look like.
But he's got the skill set to do that because he's got the ground game too. He's got very good ground game. Very good submission
also tiring.
game.
It's also tiring as well. So
it's not as tiring as doing fucking 3 flips and a back kick every few seconds. Yeah.
True. Yeah.
He's just jumping off the cage and trying to kick someone in the head. Stuff like that will really tire you out. But no, that's tiring too. You're right. That's tiring too. It's very tiring. But yeah, that's one of those divisions where it could change hands very, very quickly. Just like 135. I mean, Jan could fight Sterling and get submitted.
Yep.
Yeah. Something can happen.
Yeah, bantamweight is totally stacked. Featherweight is very stacked. There's just a lot of fighters they need to work through. There's a bit of a logjam, those divisions.
Lightweight's a nightmare. Lightweight's the most stacked division, in my opinion.
I feel like we've made progress with lightweight. I think now that Tony Ferguson has lost, we can kind of put him to one side for the moment. Dustin Poirier, I just feel like Khabib is kind of king of that division now. I mean, I don't think.
Outside of Khabib is stacked. As in, Khabib's a different level, but once you get outside him,
yes.
I mean, let's be honest. If for instance, if someone says to Tony Ferguson, "You have to fight Islam Makhachev next," can you conclusively say that Tony Ferguson would beat Islam Makhachev?
No.
And he's 15. Or even someone like Arman Saryukin, who's outside of top 30. Can you conclusively say that someone like Dustin Poirier can beat Arman Saryukin?
No.
No. It's a very odd division.
It's crazy, yeah. Well, this is the thing, it's there are just more people at that weight.
Yeah,
and it's just so much more competitive.
It's a normal body type, isn't it? To be around 5'8", 5'9", 70, 75 kilos-ish.
Yeah. This is why I'm not a professional fighter. If I was smaller or bigger, I'd be in Bellator already.
Oh, mate. If we were both 6'4" and 120 kilos, we'd be somewhere in the top 40 heavyweights, definitely, as you said before.
Yeah. Seriously, we'd probably be winning at least, low-level professional fights. I'm not even kidding. In England,
we'd be on the regional circuit.
Yes,
definitely.
We probably would.
Yeah. But it's just
if our body type. 5'3", if we're 5'3" and weighed 55 kilos, same thing. But who wants to be 5'3" and weigh 55 kilos?
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good.
No offense.
What are our weights though? We're both lightweight, right? No, I think I'd probably. Yeah, no, I'll be welterweight.
I would cut down to lightweight. I
would walk
around at welterweight.
Yeah,
I'm 77.5 or 78.
All right, no, I'd have to be welterweight then.
How much do you weigh now?
I'd get ruined. 80. I could get down to 71.
That's a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight.
Yeah, because I'm a slim guy as well, so I think I'd need the muscle. Fight out welterweight. I don't know. Go in, maybe knock Usman out. I don't know.
Yeah, you are 6'1". That's quite tall. You are 6'1".
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah,
that's quite
6'1" is a odd height.
Yeah, I mean it's tall for welterweight.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Fuck, man! You made me realize how thin I am for my height. I need to do steroids.
Yep.
ASAP, get on the test, mate. Get on that Mexican meat. Yeah, what's the next card?
I'm not even sure, man. Let's have a look.
I believe it is the Zabit card. That's the next card.
Oh, it's the 29th, and yeah, it will be.
Yeah. All right, well, we don't know what's going to happen with that, but, I mean, we've been through the 6 fights for August the 15th. Cormier v. Stipe, number 3. So that's our 6 picks. We've given everyone the UFC MMA updates. And stay tuned for more podcasts. Please follow us at grapplefk_media. And our Twitter handle is Andrew.
Andrew at grapplefk1.
There you go.
I know it.
And you can find the podcasts through our Instagram or just go to the YouTube channel. What is it? It's GrappleFK Media, right, on YouTube?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, if they're watching this,
subscribe,
they've
please.
already found it, Walid. So you don't need to
Sorry?
tell them. If they're watching it, they've already found it. So you don't need to tell them.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. The fuck am I doing? It's just so hot in London at the moment. We're not used to this.
Boiling. Fucking boiling.
It's just so hot. What is it, 37 today?
Something like that. It's hideous.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's too hot. But
Yeah.
which is why I'm drinking some water now. But thanks everybody for watching. Keep following us, please subscribe, and we've got more to come, and potentially very soon some interviews with MMA fighters, boxers, so on and so forth.
Wow.
Get involved in the dialogue. Message us if you have any questions. If you want to tell us how sexy we are, then feel free to do so. But yeah, keep watching. Thank you for the support.
Bye.
Thank you guys. Bye.